and bourbon, right? Like you could have kind of a, now it's becoming a bit self-indulgent.
Hunter X Bourbon.
Hunter X Bourbon, that's funny. That's pretty funny. We'll never say never, I guess.
That would be my cool idea.
You know, Mike Anthony works for New Level Brewery. Maybe it's actually easier.
I love New Level stuff.
Maybe it's actually easier to start with a beer and see what that looks like. Because they have the cans that are very the kind of like anime D&D heavy metal.
Because I love the Pinball Wizard and the Electric Reaper.
Yes.
My two favorites.
Yes.
And I didn't know that they were Calgary, so that's a big reason why I buy it is because it's pretty local and it's an excellent product. So
Yeah.
That's
And maybe because we know distillers of a certain ilk, we might be able to eventually go, you know, so many people have mentioned over the years, we'll say, pretending it was more than you, that we should really do a limited edition, and maybe we can evolve it out, because I think a beer would be like an easier entry point. And then we build on that success, maybe we can start to have a multifaceted local ecosystem where, yes, I would absolutely be interested in being financially safe. Every month, I'm looking for work. Every week, I'm looking for work. But yeah, that's a cool idea.
The moment you mentioned it, I could see the gears turning in your head.
Well, I have to consider all opportunities. It's like, well, you know, I've got a 16-year-old, a 13-year-old, a 10-year-old. Not a lot of retirement plans, as I've mentioned, and it would be nice to start feeling like, hey, you know what? Daddy's doing pretty good these days. Should we do some other things with our lives rather than Daddy just works and tries to see you guys when he isn't? So yeah. But I'm grateful for the balance that I've been able to achieve. I still get to be home a lot more than I think the average person does, and it's been well, now that they're coming in doing, like, 2 out of 3 of my kids are in the video game that we're doing right now.
Oh, that's awesome.
My wife's going to play one of the witches, which is great because she's like a proud Wiccan woman, and you know, having that way to do things as that dynamic is well, like anyone that has any skills they want to bequeath to their children or their friends or their community. I've often been like, well, what do I do? Like, teach them to make weird sounds? Apparently that's going to be helpful. So they're getting to now participate in that, and I see them growing and glowing up because they get to have these weird playful expressions where they're feeling more and more confident to try a bigger emotion, a bigger energy, a new voice. And I think that's reminding me that a lot of what we did as young people was we just kind of played and tried things, and it wasn't so serious all the time. And that, yeah, you can go to post-secondary or trade school and get these really disciplined skills, but you can also acquire a lot of skills through playfulness.
I agree. You have to get older, but you don't have to grow up.
In fact, there's this great thing that every person you meet is just an 8-year-old still trying. They just happen to look like this now. And a lot of their dreams have been, if not dashed, damaged, and you see this 8-year-old in a body that doesn't reflect that anymore, but that's what we often all have still in us, going, when am I gonna like all of this again? Like, I had so many dreams as a kid, and I think it's such a nice place to get to where you kind of look in the mirror and you go, hey, little versions of me, it's not perfect, but we're doing some neat things. And I think when you get that kind of confirmation that those inner children within us go, it's pretty neat being you sometimes, you're like, I have to admit, that's true. It is true. And it's something that I guess, worked pretty hard at cultivating. Like, I was volunteering for expos back in the 2012, 2013 days, just please let me, until it started to become something that's, you know, like, you're very kind to say that I have any standing in your opinion. I've asked for it, and then they said, okay, and then I've tried to just show up and say, then I'll do that. I will be that. And I will always continue to be a community member, and as often as possible, a friend to this community just as much, because it's been a great journey being allowed to share this weird, cute thing I do.
And I'm so terribly sorry, I come with very sad news. The next panel does need to load in soon.
So thank you guys so much for coming. I'll see you at closing ceremony.
I know I'll never be the same. Shook my world so hard again. Wish I washed away my sins. He's a dead man walking, blank stare in his eyes. Should've surprised when they shot him